Gerran, thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Congrats on the series. Congrats on season two also. That was just announced a couple days ago, right?
It was, yeah, yeah. Thank God, yeah. It's happening, yeah,
Yeah.
and seems to be people seem to really like it. So yeah,
Yeah. I know episode 13 just got aired. Is that what it was? Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen the whole series, so I know what's happening. So we can release this interview even after the series comes out.
Okay,
So
great,
if we
good
so we
stuff.
bring up any spoilers or anything, what's been like the fan reaction with you, with the fans?
Amazing. I mean, I'm across the pond, so I guess I'm not getting the full effect of it here because it hasn't come out in the UK yet. But yeah, I mean, people really seem to be connecting to it in a really special way. Seems like a lot of people are coming out of the woodwork and are really relating to it. Yeah, it seems like it's doing really well.
So you haven't been called Huckleberry yet from a fan.
No, not yet. No, I feel like I'm laying low. I'm missing all that over here. Hopefully it'll have died down by the time I get back.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about when's the plans about this getting released in Europe or in your area?
I have
About
no idea. Yeah, no idea. I know some family friends have managed to watch it when they've been in different countries,
yeah.
are reporting back, but I have no idea when it's coming to the UK. Yeah.
Mm. Let's talk about the show now. Like, how were you approached for the series? Was this like audition? Somebody you knew that you're like, hey, we might have a part for you. We want you to come in.
No, not at all. It was sort of the standard audition process, really. It was a self-tape initially, two self-tapes, I believe, then a meeting with with John and casting and
Yeah.
everyone on Zoom all at once. It was a bit overwhelming. But no, it was sort of standard, really. Um, yeah, I had to do CPR on the audition as well. Fun.
Yeah. How about the accent that Nebraskan country boy? How did you decide how do you wanted to do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, just from research, it seemed like something that was quite I don't want to say like a general American accent, but it was
Yeah.
sort of in my sort of wheelhouse, I suppose. And yeah, I've done some other American roles, and I think a lot of UK actors we're sort of used to watching American TV, so for a lot of us, it's sort of in us, really,
Mm.
that accent stuff. Yeah, so that wasn't too much of a hassle or anything.
What was the description you were given for Whitaker?
I think it was at the time, it was literally just earnest farm boy, I think.
Mm.
And yeah, that sort of really sums him up. That was all I had to go on, really. Yeah, earnest farm boy, med student.
How
And
did you
then,
decide? How did you decide? How did you want to like dive into this role?
well, I mean, when it sort of came to me, it was one of those things where, I mean, hospital procedural
Yeah.
was something I have not much experience in, and to be asked as a Brit was sort of one of those situations where it comes along and you go, okay, this is incredible. You can tell there's a lot, the team behind it know what they're doing and they
Mm.
really care about making it realistic. But I was like, oh well, they're gonna cast an American, surely. Um, so it was really intimidating to begin with, but it was all there when it first came to me. It was all sort of, yeah, the tone of it was so realistic and so yeah, the character was there, just sort of bumbling and maybe slightly incompetent. Yeah, right.
So you booked the role.
Yeah.
When you're reading the scripts, like he's having a bad first day.
Yeah, dude, like the worst possible day. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like what went through your mind a couple, especially with the couple scenes that he gets what was it? He gets peed on.
Yeah.
I forget
P
what else
card,
happened. Yeah.
Mylanta. Yeah, it was like a bingo card of bodily fluids.
Uh,
No, it was great. I think when you're an actor, just knowing you're just having lots of stuff coming at you, um, literally and metaphorically, you have lots of stuff to do. Yeah, it was great. It was sort of I could tell it was going to be a challenge, but it was also I can tell I'm going to have fun and I'm going to have lots to do here.
mm.
I'm kind of excited by all that stuff.
And most people, when they go to work, if that was gonna happen to them, they're like, I'm out of here. I'm done.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute baptism of fire for sure for Whitaker. But
Mm.
that's sort of his character, you know. He is having the worst possible day thrown at him, but you know, he's sort of dealing with it. And I
Mm,
guess that's kind of a nice way maybe for the audiences to it's a nice in for audiences to latch on to a character like that who's having, you know, everyone else is very competent and doing their job, and there's a lot of satisfaction in that. But you know, I think audiences need someone to be like, you know, this kid doesn't know what he's doing and he's having
right.
everything thrown at him, but he's still going. Yeah, yeah, the day from hell.
But Dr. Robbie trusts you. He
Yeah,
he trusts Whitaker. He calls him a superstar. He's got faith in
yeah,
him.
yeah. He definitely sees something in him. And he is, you know, he knows what he's doing.
Mm,
I think he is very competent. It's just a character thing where he doesn't necessarily believe in himself at this moment in time.
mm. Does he like filming those scenes? Did you have to do like a few takes on him? Or were you able to get him all in one shot?
What, the bodily fluid stuff?
But yeah, that yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly, I mean, there wasn't much room for error, but yeah, it was just you know, a case of yeah, they throw something on me and yeah, that'll do.
I'll
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, I'll do.
How would you describe overall his first day, his journey into the medical field there?
Yeah, well, I think he comes into it just extremely overwhelmed.
Mm,
Mm, Not necessarily from a point of view of like the medical stuff. I think he knows what he's doing,
yeah.
but it's a culture shock thing. You know, he's a farm boy from Nebraska, and you know, I'm sure he's seen a lot of stuff, but the environment of like a trauma center is just completely different from anything I think he expected in terms of just, you know, the amount of people and you know how you interact with those people and yeah, patient relationships and all that stuff. I think just absolutely sets his nervous system
Mm,
on fire, and I think he's just completely overwhelmed by that aspect of it. Um, yeah, it's rough, man.
yeah.
Poor
It's
guy.
definitely poor guy, right? Would you be his friend if he was
Oh
a real
yeah, someone
you
has
feel
to be.
you feel somebody's got to be his friend. You feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel a lot of sympathy for him for sure.
Mm. I like his relationship with Santos also. You know, it's like they kind of like she's a
Yeah.
little more tough on him.
She Santos is, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I think it's almost like a sibling thing with
Yeah.
Santos. So, yeah, it's been really fascinating to watch like the people's reactions to Santos and she can rub a lot of people up the wrong way. But I think with Whitaker, I think he almost sees through her quite a
Mm,
lot. He grew up with, you know, five brothers.
yeah.
He's a sibling, so I think he really just sees someone who is coping in their own way by deflecting with jokes and jabs. So I don't think it actually really bothers him that much, and
Mm,
I think Santos sort of knows that as well. I'm an easy target, but I think she knows she's not really gonna affect
right.
me
How did you
behind.
guys like develop that like on set screen relationship dynamic with that?
Just easy. I mean,
Was it quite easy?
yeah, it was easy. I
Yeah.
mean, she's great. I mean, she just really, you know, there's aspects of her of everyone in the cast actually. We are very scarily similar to our characters, you know. But you know, Issa is obviously a lot more personable
Yeah.
than than Santos. But yeah, it just felt like, you know, sibling banter.
Mm,
It was really fun. And yeah, that relationship is really interesting. And I think yeah, without spoiling anything, it goes somewhere which I was really satisfied with at the end. Yeah.
I mentioned episode 13 before. You know, one of my favorite scenes was when you use the drill on the conscious patient. He starts screaming that it hurt.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like so you've had bodily fluids, a person has died, now you hurt somebody.
Yeah,
Well,
multiple deaths, bodily fluids. Yeah. Now, but I think it's that sort of that scene. I think at that point when we're in the sort of the mass casualty,
yeah.
that is just like a reactionary thing. Like I don't think it actually really bothers him that much. I think it does, you know, takes him down a peg, but he is, I think all of us at that point.
Yeah.
Stakes like that are just sort of, they can maybe have other people look down on us a bit more, but I think it's just whoops. I mean, this stuff kind of happens, I suppose. We're here saving lives, and that's probably not the worst thing that's happened to Whitaker today, actually. So,
Right.
yeah, on a
Speaking
scale.
of, yeah, I mean, and that episode is very like it's emotional, the whole the shooting episode, they're all coming in, it's a war zone like they called it in there.
Dude, yeah, it was crazy. It was like a real change of atmosphere on set because I don't know if other people have, spoke about it, but we had all of our background actors
Yeah.
were with us for like those whole few months because it is one shift, obviously, and they are with us the whole time. So we had this whole roster of background artists, and then the mass casualty event happens, and a lot of those people get moved out. And it was, we had to say goodbye to a lot of them. We weren't going to see them ever again. And then you have this whole new cast of background artists come in, and it was just, yeah, the tone really got really serious. And again, wasn't a lot of sort of work to do. It was just horrifying to be on that set. There was just blood everywhere, and people everywhere you look just covered in gunshot wounds, and it was really genuinely harrowing. Yeah.
There was one scene where you even called yourself Doctor. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, yeah, wishful thinking.
Right? Because at first, somebody asked you if they could call you Doctor, and you're like, well, not technically yet.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then you
yeah.
have another scene, you introduced yourself as Doctor.
Yeah, yeah, maybe he's getting a little bit of a confidence there. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's in him. I think he knows, he's capable enough. But yeah, again, I think so much is happening. I don't think he's really bothered at that
yeah.
point.
He's a lovable character. People are they like this character.
Yeah, they seem to. I think it's just a case of he's a good character for people to latch on
Yeah,
to
yeah,
when everything else can be a bit overwhelming and there's so much medical jargon going on. I think he's a good person people can relate to. Same with me, all the med students, and well, I think every character has a lot of
yeah.
relatability, which is testament to the writing when it can be, you know, when you read the scripts, you're like, what is it? What is happening here?
Right.
And you need
Yeah.
you need characters to be relatable at the end of the day, outside of all the competence,
Mm.
competence porn. I've heard that being thrown around a lot. Yeah, so yeah, it's really nice to see that people can relate to him in some way.
Mm. Other than, Whitaker, who's your favorite character on the series that you've kind of like rooted for?
I mean, it's an easy answer, but it's got to be Dr. Robbie. Yeah, it's got
Okay.
to be Dr. Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes through so much, and he's like the mentor figure for all of us. So we're all sort of rooting for him, and we're rooting for him as Noah because he's
Mm.
he's leading the charge, and this is a crazy job, and we hope it really resonates with people. And yeah, so I think Dr. Robbie is someone we all look up to for sure.
Another scene with Whitaker and Dr. Robbie is when Dr. Robbie's having like the anxiety attack and he's like crying but in that room and you character walks in there.
Yeah,
Tell us a little about that.
well, that's coming up, right? I think that's
Yeah,
coming up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's in the in episode 14, I believe. Um, yeah, that's it was just another just an example of Whitaker just feels the need to have to step up. But it was
Mm.
yeah, it was lovely, and I didn't see that scene coming at all. Um, yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
Oh, so you haven't even watched
No, no, I have no
oh
idea, so I can't really talk to it
yeah,
too much. Maybe
yeah,
they'll cut it. Maybe
yeah.
they'll CG someone else's face on there.
And this is why I'm releasing this interview after the series ends.
Cool, 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 cool.
So
Yeah, no, but it was
yeah.
yeah, it was a beautiful scene, and it's just awful to see that character that you look up to so much and then
Mm.
be in that state was just horrible. Again, not much work needed from me. It was just
Yeah.
horrible to see him in that situation. Yeah, and I hope it's a good scene.
Mm. Oh, definitely is. Definitely is.
Oh,
Would you change anything about Whitaker?
oh, is no, no, I wouldn't. I think. I think we're in really capable hands, and I think the writers have really curated it in a way you don't see until you watch it. So no, I'm really excited to see what they do with him, and I have hopes and dreams for Whitaker,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm just excited to see where he goes.
Yeah. If you were given if you had a meeting with the writers and they said, "Hey, what do you want to see in season two? Do you have any what would you like to see?"
Um, I guess I'd like to see just how Whitaker goes from being sort of inexperienced and overwhelmed.
Okay.
That obviously can't last, for too
Yeah.
long. So I guess I want to see how Whitaker deals with everything, because I think you can go two ways as a medical professional. You can really um, close off and disconnect
Mm,
from people, and maybe in some cases become a bit cold, or you can embrace everything and take things on the chin. So I think Whitaker could go down one of two paths, really.
mm.
Maybe close off. So who knows?
Yeah. Is there somebody from the cast that you didn't have that many scenes with that season two, I hope I get more scenes with?
Oh, that's a good question. I think we all have our little moments, but I think Fiona, I think Dr. McKay,
Okay.
I think that would be a really interesting dynamic, especially with the street team stuff. I think maybe
Mm,
that if that goes ahead again, if Whitaker has more involvement in that stuff with her, yeah, I don't know. I think that would be an interesting dynamic, don't you think? I don't know.
definitely. Yeah. What about Langdon?
Oh yeah, Langdon. I think I don't really have much with Langdon. I think
Right.
yeah, I don't know how Langdon would how much patience he would actually really have for me,
Mm,
Whitaker. So yeah,
yeah.
that would be an interesting dynamic. But I think
Yeah.
he'd maybe take me under his wing. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
Right now
know.
he's got his own issues with Santos
He's got yeah, and the rest.
and the
Yeah.
rest. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe yeah, I'll leave him to it maybe.
Yeah. Last question. Any message for the fans? Because they love this. I don't know if you've been on on the forums, Reddit, and Facebook. They love the series.
I try not to,
Okay.
but I mean, I'm sort of overwhelmed from stuff I've heard secondhand. Um, yeah, and I hope we people see themselves in the show, especially medical professionals. But I hope
Mm,
it gives an insight, for people who aren't versed in the industry, a good view of it. And yeah, thank you.
amazing. Garen, I noticed you haven't really been posting that many pictures from this series. Are you a social media person? Are you kind of staying off or?
No, yeah, not really. I'm not really social media. I sort of fallen out of love a bit with social media.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make a grand return, but for now,
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
happy.
amazing. Garen, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes today. Let's get you back on for season two. I'm excited to see what happens with Huckleberry.
Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you, God. Thank you, man.
Thank you.